Hello everyone, my name is Rafal and welcome to my vlog. So today's vlog I would like to dedicate it and talk a little bit about negative comments on social media and how to deal with them. This is, in my opinion, extremely important topic and should be discussed more often by many other photographers and people from the industry, because I realized that this whole thing affects a lot of people nowadays, and I just want to discuss this and address some of those things and share also with you how I deal with this, because as you know, everyone nowadays at some point in our career we are targeted by some of those trolls who going after us and they want to trash our work. They have nothing positive to say, and they pretty much they're trying to kind of put us down with everything what do we do. And I've also noticed that there's specific pattern to some of those things, and this really affects a lot of people nowadays. And I actually posted a comment not a long time ago about one of my groups I've been involved, why people don't share their work as often, why people don't kind of discuss some of those things, why we don't have some interesting debates about photography and just stuff related to it. And a lot of those people told me pretty much they just simply scared to post anything because they don't want to be attacked, they don't want to be pretty much trolled by some of those people because someone doesn't like their work or whatever. And that's, in my opinion, it's a really bad sign, and as I said, affects a lot of people, but also slows down us with what we do. It really kind of puts some brakes on our work. We're scared to explore certain things, we scared to do anything because we actually just feel how people are going to react to this. And even I deeply believe that everything what we do, the first person who we should create this is we are doing this for ourselves, and we shouldn't be kind of like thinking about what other people think. But I deeply believe this is part of being a human. This is why we creating this work, because we want to share it, we want to show to other people, we want to enjoy it and just kind of just show to the world what we do. But because all this like negativity, which is kind of like all over the place, we have this some kind of like fear that people might take this the wrong way, or people might don't like it, and that's pretty much just push us back, and we just hide in the caves, and we don't do anything because we're scared. And maybe this is not to that extreme, but I've noticed from so many different photographers that's how they feel. So where this whole thing is coming from, this is something which I try to understand, and I'm trying to kind of really dig into it. But there's several things. First of all, I think that people who are attacking other people and they try to be negative about their work and what they do, I deeply believe that that whole thing comes from their own insecurities. This comes from their kind of own world where they're not happy, they negative, and they try to kind of dump this whole thing on other people. So that's the first step. The next thing is, I think some people have nothing else to do, because I see a lot of photographers or like people on social media, and it seems like they're kind of the same, who they comment on everybody else work. They pretty much just sit on social media, and the one thing what they do, they just pretty much try to kind of like break down every image. They try to discuss it, they try to be negative, and they try to kind of like put people down and make them feel bad about what they do. So we're gonna discuss this whole thing in detail a little bit later, but that's which is kind of like really weird for me, that those people have time. Because if you're a busy photographer and if you have a lot of stuff on your plate and you shoot a lot, you don't really have time to pretty much spend entire days on social media and comment every photo you can kind of see, and then you can possibly comment on those images, right? So that's the first kind of sign that there is something wrong. Because on the top of that, I never have noticed that, you know, people who actually they've reached higher level of photography, and they amazing artists and the amazing photographers, they have time to do stuff like that, right? And even if they give you some constructive criticism, they pretty much somehow know how to do this whole thing on the positive way. So how do I deal whenever I get this negative comments and I have to deal with, you know, some of those trolls which basically are going after me, and I have to have some kind of system which helps me to deal with this. So I have like a system of 7 points which I'm kind of going through, and I'll share that with you guys right now, and this is the way I'm dealing with those critical situations. So the kind of the number one thing what I do is I don't get involved in those unnecessary conversation. Even, you know, sometimes it's so tempting. I'm on social media, I'm posting things, and there is some posts, you know, coming up, and you know, I'm just like, okay, I would love to jump into the conversations, but I simply don't do that because there's several reasons I don't do that. First of all, I know that it's really fine line, you know, to basically go from like, you know, very delicate conversation into like argument which you wouldn't believe. And I'm trying to kind of avoid that, and I simply don't do that, because you know, you might post one sentence and this whole thing might turn into something crazy, and you might waste entire day arguing with someone and try to kind of prove them something. And usually those, as I said, those arguments, they, you know, they go nowhere, because it's really difficult to, you know, discuss things on social media and argue on social media, because you know, there's never a winner, right? So to avoid those things and try to protect myself and avoid losing some very valuable time, I don't jump into those conversations. Even, you know, as I said, it's like I really would love to, but I don't do that. So the second thing what I do is I only jump into conversations whenever someone directly asks me about something. So this is the main reason when I actually discuss things on social media. So if this is one of the groups I'm involved, or I post something and someone asks me a question, then I jump into it, and I will be more than happy to discuss, to, you know, talk about something, and you know, exchange opinions and stuff like that. And I also noticed that those conversations have completely different vibe, because you know, when people ask you something, they have kind of different I would say attitude and different approach, and you know, they try to be polite to you. But I've noticed when it's kind of all the way around, you know, people take things differently and might be sometimes really tricky. So let's say someone kind of jump on me, and you know, they kind of get into my conversations and try to be smarty pants, and you know, they try to kind of go after me or troll me or whatever. So the first thing what I do, and this is extremely, I would say, important. I actually, before I give any answer, or I actually continue the conversation, or I just kind of shoot some answer or feedback or whatever is going on, I usually check these people, because you know, if there is some dude from somewhere who doesn't represent anything, and you know, he's just trolling, or you know, just doing things just to make people miserable, or you know, they have, as I said before, they have nothing else to do, I want to know who I'm dealing with. So you know, if they try to kind of question what I do or try to troll me, I want to make sure that, you know, those people, who they are, what's their background, what kind of work they represent. Because again, if you know someone who doesn't produce any work or doesn't produce any images, or you know, like have no idea about photography, and they try to kind of, you know, tell you what you should do and what your work should look like, or they're picking on your work, or you know, try to, as I said, be negative about what you do, you know, then the kind of conversation is pointless and it's over, because you know, it just doesn't make any sense to even continue something like this. So the next thing what I do, there's couple things. The first thing is I'm not, if someone kind of pushing my buttons and then try to kind of, you know, go after me, I don't try to answer right away. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, whenever I'm trying to answer, I have to wait a little bit till my emotions kind of settle down a little bit. So I'm not trying to get involved in any conversations when my emotions kind of flying high, because this is the worst thing. We kind of getting unreasonable, we start saying stupid stuff, we don't think straight. So, you know, the emotions are kind of tricky part, because, you know, those are the things which trigger most of the time those huge arguments, whatever, because that's, you know, what is happening with our mind. So whenever I'm involved in some kind of situations where I feel my emotions are out of control, I'm simply shutting everything down. I'm just don't want to deal with that person, or I don't want to deal with the conversation, because I know this might take me to some crazy place which I'm probably going to regret it at the end of the day. So the next thing is, when someone is really pushing and they don't want to let it go, they don't want to kind of, you know, leave me alone. The one thing what I do, I just block these people. This is the easiest way, this is the simplest way, and you know, you have basically cleaning up everything and you don't have to deal with this person anymore. And I know sometimes we have a hard time to do that, and we really have issues like, well, you know, I don't want to be a mean person, but at the end of the day, you know, these people didn't come to you to make your life better. They want to make your life miserable, and they want to go after you. They want to trash you. They want to put you in a bad mood. Why do you really need them in your life, and why do you need them on social media? Why they even have to be part of whatever you do, right? Like, you don't really want to have nothing to do with them. And, you know, as I said, there's the easiest way. And, you know, I'm giving myself a little bit of time. I'm not doing this right away, but if someone is really kind of going after me, I delete them and I just basically block them, and, you know, it's done and it's over, and I can move on to some positive things. So the last thing what I want to say, what I do, and this is my kind of the most important kind of message: try to surround yourself with positive people, people who help you to thrive, people who help you to grow, people who help you to, you know, be better at what you do. And we have to be selective, you know, we have to be also sometimes very mindful about, you know, who we hanging out, even on social media, because this is like our, I would say, second place where we spend most of the time. So it's extremely important to have people around who, you know, kind of help you if you're gonna have issues. They're gonna support you, they're gonna give you you know, critique which explain to you, you know, what you can do better, but on the positive way. So you know, I could go on and on about it, but the message what I want to actually send here, and you know, like, I've been really seeing, you know, this negativity coming from all over the place, and you know, like, we have really difficult life, you know, running the business, dealing with clients, you know, dealing with everything what we do, it's not easy. And on the top of that, we have those people from somewhere, which we don't even sometimes know where they live, who, you know, have nothing else to do, and they want to do something kind of negative to you, and they try to kind of release their anger, you know, their insecurities, and then, you know, just I don't really understand why people do that. And you know, to photographers, you know, don't take them seriously. Try to be positive, try to don't take them seriously, because you know what, I remember back in the days that, you know, this whole thing really affected my life. Even today, you know, it's hard sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it's really difficult. But at the same time, I deeply believe that, you know, we can have this different culture of interacting with each other. We can have this different way of dealing with each other. So, you know, we all on the same boat. We all try to do our best, and we all try to kind of make our images better on every single day. So it's important to have that community which really gonna help us to go wherever we want to go. I hope that wasn't depressing. I hope you guys forgive me. I just want to share that with you guys, because, you know, like, that's also kind of helps me to release some of those things I'm going through. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been, you know, recently really trashed by so many different people, and they've been just going after me, and you know, like it's really kind of hurting me inside, and you know, I'm trying to kind of let this whole thing go. And I think this vlog also gonna help me a little bit to kind of release some of those stuff. Even, you know, I'm also human. I have this certain things which I'm trying to do, but it's not really easy. So I hope that was interesting. I would love to hear your feedback. Please share with me your comments. If you guys have any stories or would like to add something to it, please feel free to add it. I would love to hear from you guys, because, you know, as I said, we are here to help each other, to support each other, and you know, hopefully we will grow all together. So thank you for listening. Again, I hope that wasn't too much, you know, sad kind of story, but I just want to share that with you guys. So wishing you fantastic week, fantastic shooting, and I'll chat with you guys soon. Bye bye.